Aquarius, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We have officially moved into Gemini season, which definitely has been moving things along. We're seeing a little bit more momentum in the collective, in the astrology. Definitely a welcome blessing because things have felt pretty stagnant. They've been emotional, they've been tense, there's been things kind of popping off left and right. And a lot of this may be oversimplified, but is so that we are making necessary changes and adjustments. The hardship is that we have to contend with these changes. Some of this stuff we're not expecting, some of it we don't want to do. Some of it we're just wishing it didn't really work out this way, or we thought that this was going to be the thing that, you know, brought us that happiness, fulfillment, abundance, and it's just not panning out that way. So there is this component of surrender, releasing, letting go. Like I said, Gemini season, it's air element, so it brings in a little bit more momentum, deductive reasoning. It's also about duality. So we're seeing things from a different perspective. We have that opportunity to not only change our perspective, but find new approaches. Jupiter's also in Gemini, so highlighting that as well, especially as it relates to the things that we really want to see manifest in our life, i.e. that proverbial abundance, prosperity, etc. That's why I like to start off our readings with these energy cleansings, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's a really great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc., or if you are just looking for more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling good, grounded in self, when we know who we are, when we know what we want, that's when we're manifesting that happiness and fulfillment. Even if everything's not looking picture perfect, we can still find that peace and contentment because we're living according to our truth and our values. So I would love to help support in whatever way possible. If you're interested in any of my services, I would love to connect. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama love. Amen. All right. Aquarius, you feel like you can finally take a breath of fresh air. That's what it feels like. Maybe there's been a weight that's lifted off of you, or you've been able to surmount something that feels, well, you were holding your breath. That's kind of how it comes through. You didn't really know how something was going to shake out, and it felt a little bit unsteady. It felt a little unshaky. And maybe you're still kind of dealing with this to some capacity, especially with the siren as the overarching energy. But I'm also hearing that, like, you have a better understanding of, like, who and what you're dealing with. Like, specifically if you've been feeling like people, places, and things have kind of been manipulating you or taking advantage of your goodness, you might play the role of a healer to some capacity in your life, whether that is from a spiritual vantage point, or, you know, you're in medicine or something along those lines, or you just have a naturally healing, caring, nurturing spirit. It feels like that you definitely provide that love and support for others. And I think sometimes to your detriment, right? Like there's this energy where you can definitely get sucked in to people, places, and things. It looks like things are being illuminated though around you. Very interesting. A lot of similar energy to Capricorn. Actually, it's like, I think these are all three the same cards that Capricorn got as well. I swear I shuffled. You've seen me shuffle. You could be dealing with a Capricorn. You could have Capricorn placements in your chart, not specifically, but it definitely has this energy of you like finally realizing something, recognizing that like something is not as authentic as what you thought it were. Someone might be pulling rank on you this week, putting you in your place is what I'm hearing, or maybe they're trying to put you in your place. Excuse me, I'm gonna just pop this out real quick. And it kind of looks like I said, it kind of looks like you feel a little bit duped or taken advantage of, or maybe this person situation just said a lot of the right things in order to get what they wanted out of you. Like I said, it does kind of look like to some capacity, you're finally moving through this, or you're having clarity around it this week. The hierarchy might be as simple as like just there's a natural order to follow in order to see change actually manifest in this situation, so that you're not staying stagnant, so that you're not forced to deal with a person's situation that like, again, is saying maybe a lot of the right things, but unable to follow through on what they're actually saying, unfortunately. Okay, so we have Justice, we have Libra energy, balancing of the scales. You're coming in as the Queen of Cups. There's something that you are picking up. Double confirmation around the Sun. I feel like this is information that has been hidden from you or was hidden from you. Maybe you're seeing some of these things a little bit more clearly now is what it looks like. Someone's really stressed out. Someone's having a hard time. I don't know. It looks like there was a situation where there was some disconnect. Someone was really stressing out. Maybe you didn't have the money, the finances. There's something about this that you were kind of like on the defensive about. And it looks like some of this stuff is working out this week, itself out this week. It feels like it might be coming back around for some reason. Yeah, we have the Six of Cups energy right there. It looks like I said, someone was really worried about, they were letting their fears, their anxieties get the best of them in a dynamic. And I feel like you kind of had to break away, or that's what you felt like you had to do. You had to sidestep. You weren't comfortable with how things were working out. It didn't feel good for you. And so, like I said, like it just kind of looks like you stepped away because you didn't want to get involved in anything, Aquarius, that seemed a little bit too dicey. It seemed a little bit too sticky. But it almost feels like you ended up getting yourself caught into that trap. Yeah. Like making some decisions that were pretty disappointing, or like I said, like the very thing you were trying to avoid, you ended up winding up in. And, like I said, it does look like there is natural order happening, meaning like things are progressing, things are moving forward, things are kind of evening themselves out. Even if you're not really seeing this front and center right now, it is happening. I think there's a part of you that's feeling taken advantage of, or trying to sort through how things ended up in the way that they did. Because you feel like you chose something that was what you thought was the right choice. But this looks like to some capacity it wasn't, right? Maybe you sacrificed some morals a little bit. I'm not saying that in a rude way, Aquarius, but it kind of looks like you made a choice between what you wanted versus what might have been the best choice at that time. We can't go back in time. This is a little bit of shoulda, woulda, coulda. I feel like you are kind of paying some sort of penalty from this unintentionally. Like I said, like, you didn't really see the full picture. And I feel like places where maybe things could have been better revealed, where you could have had a little bit more understanding, you weren't really ready to accept that. Perhaps you were listening to someone else. We have the Knight of Pentacles, Six of Wands showing up here. So someone really kind of encouraging you to be selfish in this situation. Again, not good, bad, right, or wrong. Sometimes we have to make choices for ourselves, but it also looks like some of those choices were made out of a lot of pain, you know, and maybe not necessarily with the full story. And I think that this is the reason this is coming up, is because some of this is being worked out this weekend. I feel, or this week, excuse, maybe it is this weekend. I don't know. You'll know. You can let me know. Drop a comment below. But this definitely has this vibe around it of like seeing someone's true colors. Especially if there was someone meddling in this situation, i.e. someone trying to steer you to make a decision, to make a choice, especially if it was like against someone or kind of like tarnishing someone's name is what I'm hearing, maybe painting a bad picture of someone. And again, it made sense for you because on some level you didn't like what someone or something was doing. There was something around this that didn't feel, I don't know, like it just seemed off. Maybe you thought someone was being really shady. Like I said, it has this vibe of like you thought someone was being shady, and it looks like probably just a lot of anxiety, whatever they were going through. And then whatever you chose ended up kind of being the shady thing. Stay afraid, but do it anyway, right? Like sometimes we just have to, you know, move through the middle of the mess. I was thinking of that football play where they like run it up the middle. I don't know what it's called, but they always do it. It never works in my opinion, but it's this value of sometimes we just have to go through it, right? It's going to work for you, I promise. But there is this value of like, yeah, I mean, be cautious, be uncertain, but at the same time, don't let that thing stop you. The question of your worthiness is not on the table at all. You know what you want. Embrace that and stand up for it without huffing the spray paint that everyone else is huffing. I love that. That's so awesome. But it's true, right? Like, it's true. There is this question of worthiness on the table. And maybe this is some bad decision making. Maybe these things were done out of feeling a little bit selfish or on the defensive around what someone was trying to say, do, etc., not on the same page. It also kind of looks like there wasn't a lot of communication, a lot of uncertainty up in the air. Again, maybe listening to people that you shouldn't have been, maybe not having the right conversations with the right people, that type of vibe. But that's also why, yeah, sometimes we have to listen to what other people are saying, but we still have to make sure that we're following our own instinct, our own intuition. And that kind of feels like that's where you've gotten a little bit caught up, the Aquarius, in the past, is listening to too many people or taking the advice of things that are not actually authentically yours, right? I think this one comes out. I waited a long time I waited a long time out in the world before I gave myself permission to fail. Please don't ever bother asking. Don't bother telling the world you are ready. Show it. Do it. So I like this value of like, it's okay to quote unquote fail, right? Like sometimes maybe this is part of the reason why you were being self-protective, right? Why it was hard to have an honest conversation, or why it was to maybe hard to see things in the reality that they were, right? But instead of, you know, waiting, trying not to fail, making sure that you're dotting every I, crossing every T, etc., which can be so exhausting in and of itself, which can also lead us down this path of like illusion, right? Spirit's actually asking you to show up, do it in a different way, do it in a way that is more authentic to you, Aquarius, not again what everyone else is saying to do, but what you're actually sensing and feeling, what you would have done in the beginning had, you know, you not let other things infiltrate. So I hope this reading helps. I know it was a little heavy. Some of them have been that way this week. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you did find messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel, Aquarius. Know that I'm sending it back your way.